Alright, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, type it in the chat. Testing, testing. Oh good, you guys can hear me. Great. Okay, yeah, so tonight I'm just going to be working on this picture of Elincia. I don't know how much I'll be talking, but if you guys have questions or anything, feel free to ask them. It's just been, like, months since I've drawn, so I should probably do that. So, yeah, I've already kind of begun the rendering process for her. It's still a bit messy, but let's just get to it. Also, the boobs will not be freed. Much too much sadness, but sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to open up Twitch on another screen so I can look at my chat and my reference at the same time. Yeah, I'm gonna have no idea what's playing in the music. I just pulled up a YouTube video that's like 3 hours long, and it's just gonna be playing Zelda music the whole time. So, hope you guys like it. So I'll probably start with adding more value to the skin. So for anyone who likes the way I draw skin, this is how I do it. Exciting stuff. So yeah, if you've ever seen me drawn before, I usually tend to block in my colors with kind of solid like brushes, and then I pull out the airbrush a little later and kind of soften them all so it leaves a mix of hard edges and soft ones. That is how the magic happens. So you guys might randomly hear my cats just like doing cat things in the background, so hope you like cats. So how's everyone doing tonight? Oh yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, I am drawing this picture for Hero of Memes here, who graciously helped with the uploading process for my casual mode art project, which I got way too busy to actually run. So, as thanks for all that uploading he helped do, which he's doing right now with a couple of ones that missed the mark, from drawing, and here it is. So if anyone participated in casual mode, give Hero of Memes here a big thanks for getting that gallery up, because my life has been way busier than I would like it to be. Also, how's critical mode? I got Kingdom Hearts 3 when it came out. Then I played it till I beat it, and then never touched it again. It was a little too easy, so I would definitely welcome a harder mode. Yeah, I did 3 on Proud mode, and I don't really remember it giving me any trouble anywhere. I'm kind of at the point now where I play a game, and I play it through once, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna wait a year to play this again because they're just gonna patch it with a bunch of shit. It seems like almost every game that comes out, it's just a totally different game like a year later. So I feel like with Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm just gonna come back to it when all this crap inevitably gets added that probably should have just been there since release. But I guess that's just how it is. I think for me the biggest issue with games is just time these days. I just don't freaking have time. I really wish I could just play all these games I want to play and do fun difficulties and stuff, but man, being grown up sucks. I don't recommend it. I actually got Sekiro, and I played through that. And that's like the one newish game that I've played lately. And that game was a bitch. I'm glad you appreciate my oh so soothing voice. I know that's the main reason why people tune in. I'm sorry if the art doesn't live up to it. It's just, you know, it's just the way things are. But Sekiro, man, I got to the final boss. It was a hell of a ride. I got to the final boss, a lot of fun. And then I played a few times. I'm like, yep, nope, not gonna finish this anytime soon. And then I just kind of put it down because I knew it would take me like hours and hours and hours to beat that boss, and like 1,000 tries. And I was like, I just don't have like days of gaming time to give up to try to beat this boss. So yes, I'm currently sitting right at the final boss for Sekiro, and I should probably just finish it when I find the time, but dear lord. I will say it's very satisfying when you actually clear something in that game that you've been struggling on. And Sekiro was my first Soulsborne game. Hey, thanks for the feedback, Kirbyus. Which reminds me, if anyone ever has questions about my process, feel free to ask. I don't always know how to like narrate it, so it's easier if you just fire away if there's something you want to inquire about. I know a lot of people tend to ask about how I do skin, so sometimes the easiest way is to just do it and have people watch. But yeah, so Sekiro was my first game from Software, and the rumors were true. They are hard games. Yeah, so Sekiro was my first game from Software. Each little sketch, like each little line, like this bad boy right here, or whatever I'm doing now. The one thing I will say for people who struggle with skin is always use a reference. I say this literally every time I stream, but I still stand by it because it's just the best way to get better at skin. Unless you're doing really simple like cell shaded type skin, chances are you probably don't know where all the little subtleties and shading lies, even if you're a really good artist. Even all the best artists I know resort to referencing for stuff like this, because it just takes years and years before you can commit to memory the way that light just falls onto skin, you know? That being said, I'm probably spending a little too much time on these legs and booty area, so I will probably move upwards now. So the program I'm using, this gets asked a lot, it's called Sketchable, and it's on the Windows Store for anyone who wants it, the Windows 10 Marketplace. I have a love-hate relationship with the program. It's actually designed mainly for Surface Pro users. So I draw on a Surface Pro 4. And yeah, it was mainly designed with that demographic in mind. It's really cool. It's one of the most intuitive programs I've ever used. And it's perfect for like an all-touch interface. You can do the whole thing, like you can do everything on your touchscreen. I don't use a keyboard at all. But I also have a love-hate relationship with this program because it lacks some really important tools. Like it doesn't have a selection tool, which is just completely mind-boggling, and it makes rendering just a total pain sometimes. So I can't resize anything on the fly. It's buggy sometimes. Honestly, I got Clip Studio, and I want to try to get acclimated to that, because Sketchable just has gone too long without a meaningful update, and it's really starting to show its weaknesses, as much as I hate to say that. Yeah, go ahead and throw Tiki into Awakening, even if she's young. Just the intent was pretty much just any game that they appear in at all, regardless of age. I just came across that painful moment where I realized that I never actually finished drawing her hand. It's one of those things where it's like, I'll do it later. And then I realized later that I never did do it. So we might just ignore the hand, because sometimes hands take 30 seconds, and sometimes they take way longer than I would ever like to admit. So, yes. I'm sure anyone who draws can relate to that to some degree. I'm just going to draw a hook, and we're going to say that she lost her hand in battle. That's what you had in mind for the picture, right? What's an MIDI thing? Ah, there we go. I can amputate whatever I want. It's a free country. That's gonna be my new strategy. Every drawing is just gonna have prosthetic limbs somehow. I'll put Jaime Lannister's golden hand on some characters. Give some people a hook. Some people have a robot hand, though that might actually be harder to draw than a real hand, so maybe not. But this will be the new thing that defines my art. Eldigan to Jaime Lannister. I'd say close enough. Isn't it like highly implied that Eldigan is kind of incestuous? That would work perfectly with the Jaime parallel. By the way, is there anyone in here who's watching Game of Thrones? I better get some yeses up in here. I was actually this close to making this stream's music just Game of Thrones music. Zelda just barely won out in the end. Alright, so I won't like spoil anything to people who haven't watched it, but can I just say I thought the last Game of Thrones episode was a very good episode. I loved it a lot. I thought it was just super well done, really good writing. Probably one of my favorite episodes of the series, actually. I mean, everyone's talking about how it was paced too slow and how we only have 4 episodes left, so things need to get moving, but honestly, I feel like that's probably the last episode we'll get in the whole series that's actually slow. So, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be carnage from here on out, so I appreciated the the last moments we got being able to have a nice slow episode with some of these characters. And yeah, their crypt plan is probably just a terrible idea. So I've heard theories that I've heard some theories that state that the dead Starks will rise from the crypts, but they will actually fight for the living. That would be interesting. And I think the idea for that, I think the idea behind that comes from Benjen. Anyway, I won't spend this whole stream talking about Game of Thrones, but man, if you don't watch it, get on that shit. I only just started watching it like a few months ago. I was one of these people that went my whole life without watching it, and it was a terrible mistake. So don't be like me, and if you haven't seen it, just go watch it now, immediately. Drop everything you're doing, including the stream, and just get it done. So this is an interesting drawing because I'm actually like terribly inexperienced at drawing backsides. You'll find that most of my drawings are from the front, so I'm actually not as experienced with back muscles as I would like to be. So I guess we're learning together, guys. The good thing is that I have a butt model, but she actually didn't help with this drawing. This I'm just using a 3D poser. Oh, are you talking about the Godzilla King of Monsters? I forgot that was coming out. I wasn't terribly impressed with the last Godzilla movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends up being better. I actually don't think the last Godzilla movie was that bad, but I feel like it made some poor choices, and it could have been a lot better. Namely, killing Bryan Cranston was a terrible idea because he was so much more interesting than the guy that actually ended up being the main character. So shame on them. Did you say? Oh, I was actually just about to ask that. King of the Monsters or Endgame? I'm actually like this weird freak that doesn't care about the Marvel movies that much. But it's really rare to meet other people that also don't care as much about Marvel. Yeah, you know, I'm really interested to see what happens to the Marvel-verse after Endgame, because I mean, on one hand, it wouldn't be surprising if there's a huge drop-off, but on the other, I mean, each movie just keeps breaking more records and making more money, and like even these brand new heroes like Captain Marvel and Black Panther and crap are doing really well. So it's really hard to predict how the public, I think, will react. I think obviously a ton of people are seeing Endgame just because we've been with the main, you know, the core Avengers cast for so long. But I don't know, makes you wonder if there's gonna be some slowdown. I'm pretty sick of superhero movies in general from all sides, so like I wouldn't care at all if they just put the brakes on Marvel for a while. I know they won't, but yeah. It's still weird to me that Black Panther and Infinity War have the same Rotten Tomatoes score as Schindler's List. Like, I don't know. They're fun, but they're not totally my thing. So I'm actually a huge movie nut, and I could talk about movies all day. That's why I try not to, because I just end up looking like this obnoxious movie snob. So probably the less you talk about movies with me, the better. Yo, King Duke, thank you. Yeah, I've been pretty busy lately, and I felt bad for just kind of leaving my art out to dry, so I hope you guys don't think I was dead. I'd like to start taking commissions again, but I'm working on all these other projects in my personal life. And, man, it's just so hard to find time. It's Sturge. What's up, dude? And yes, I am very much alive. Not that you would think so from my activity, but here I am. I'm alive and I'm drawing horny art, so this is like a double anomaly here. I haven't done this in a while. Okay. This drawing is starting to come together. It was a little rough when I started, but got that detailed skin action that I'm all about. Sometimes I wonder if I should just adopt a more traditional skin drawing style, because it would probably take 1/10 of the time to draw, and I could actually make money from commissions if I did that. But who needs it, right? Yeah, sorry about those prints. What ended up happening is I printed them off, and they're sitting on my counter for a little bit, and then we did some cleaning and they got put away, and then I kind of forgot about them. And I just remembered again. So, you know what? I would like to pack that with my stuff tomorrow and try to deliver it tomorrow or something, because that's kind of unacceptable. But at least they're free, sort of. At least they're free, sort of. And yes, this picture is going to have much better turnaround than the commission that you actually paid for. Funny how that works, huh? Nah, dude, don't worry about it. I'll send them. I owe them to ya. For real though, Sturge, I'll try to pack them with my stuff, and if you send me a reminder tomorrow, that should definitely help. I have a dreadfully terrible memory when it comes to things like this, but I do actually have good intentions. So if you fire me a DM tomorrow, that would help. Do you guys feel like my art sticks out? Like, if you see a drawing by me, do you think, hey, that's Jack's art? Or does it... It's kind of hard to, like, gauge your own art sometimes. And when you don't have, like, I don't know, I'm always shifting my style around all the time, so I always wonder, like, what looks unique, what looks like I'm just being generic, or if being generic is a good thing, or if I should try to keep being more unique. It's like this perpetual crisis that probably any artist can relate to, that I'm just always in. Man, I wish I wasn't more busy, because I would actually like to kind of branch out in the things I draw. I know I mostly draw girls, and the girls I draw are mostly from Fire Emblem, and it's good and it's fun, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. But I've had yearnings to like draw some other characters I like. I wanted to draw Jaime Lannister. I want to draw some characters for a story I have in my head that I've always wanted to write, like some original characters of mine for a story. There's so many things I want to draw and so little time. Yeah, Jean seems cool, but I don't know Jean, so I still want to draw people characters I'm familiar with. I found that it's a bad idea for me to take commissions or requests of characters that I know nothing about, because I end up not having motivation, and then the drawing ends up taking just way too long. Like your first commission. We don't want that happening again. So Jean, I don't even care. Is it Jean d'Arc? Isn't there whatever in like 4 different games? Which one do you want? The Fate Grand Order one? Well, maybe if I play Fate Grand Order someday, I'll draw her. But I probably won't. Does Fate Grand Order make you play on widescreen? Yo, thank you for uploading those. Also, if I get any more submissions, I'm probably just going to reject them at this point, because people should have known that they needed to use the form. Okay, and so the fact that I need to rotate to play Fate probably means I'll never play it. That is just too much to ask of me. Too great a burden. Okay, and so the fact that I need to rotate to play Fate probably means I'll never play it. That is just too much to ask of me. Too great a burden. I'm not really playing anything on my phone lately. I've barely been touching Heroes. I played Elder Scrolls Blades for like 3 days, and that was enough. Yeah, I don't know. See, with Heroes, I kind of liked having a game to just like turn around and dick around in for a little bit and not actually like commit to very hard. So I kind of started to see why phone games have a certain appeal. Because I'm a bit too busy to like actually commit to a mobile game, so it's nice to just have something to turn on for like 30 seconds, but now I feel like whenever I have idle time on my phone, I would just rather be doing something else. So I don't know how many more phone games I'll really be playing. Which game are you talking about? Blades? Yeah, to be honest, when I'm on my phone, I usually just browse Reddit. I found I enjoy that more than playing phone games. Or, like, I should probably use my phone time to actually engage with Twitter. That would be a good... to actually, like, be alive on my art account. Yeah, man, I just mean my regular Twitter account. I haven't been active on that for a while, and I probably should be, because I bet the algorithms are gonna start fucking me. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of detail on the face, because frankly, anime faces are weird to me, and I can't, for the life of me, understand them, so I try to just keep things relatively simple. And then maybe go back to it later if I need to. So the underwear right now is pretty basic. It's going to look a lot better once I start rendering it, but I don't know if I'm quite at that point where I want to start yet. And also the lines are probably going to be replaced with like texture and like lacy patterns and stuff like that, so get to it eventually, but right now I'm just gonna keep it around here somewhere. Alright guys, attention real quick. What do you want me to work on next? Do you want to see clothing? Do you want to see hair? Do you want to see eyes? Alright guys, attention real quick. What do you want me to work on next? Do you want to see clothing? Do you want to see hair? Do you want to see eyes? We got one vote for eyes. One vote going once, going twice. Wait, hair, clothing, shoot. Put eyes on clothing. There we go. That's the solution. Wait, hair, clothing, shoot. Put eyes on clothing. There we go. That's the solution. Done. Okay, so we got one vote for eyes, two. I think clothing is the winner here. All right. Boom. Trying to figure out how I want to go about this. As a side note, can I just say how satisfying it is when I do enough rendering to where I can turn off the line art layer and it still, like, has definition? That's just a great feeling. Anyway, let's turn that line art back on. So I'm probably... Alright. I have a complicated relationship with line art. God, would that... Okay. I'm guessing I'm going to be erasing most of this line art now that I'm going to start working on the clothes. I have a feeling it's just kind of getting in the way, so let's get rid of that for now. I've decided that I kind of want to get away from line art. It is a necessary evil, but the less time I can spend doing line art in a drawing, the better. Alright, so first of all... Well, that looks weird. Okay, so you wanted darker underwear, correct? I'm going to take care of that before I start rendering it, otherwise it'll just be a pain. So to darken things, I usually turn the transparency lock on, get like a kind of a dimmed opacity version of the hue I want, and I just color over it. Good thing I have you here in real time so I can just get your opinion on the fly. Alright, this. Too dark. Darker. Where do you want to go? I don't feel like Ormill sees my art. I feel like they are like Ormill's like beyond. They have ascended to the like 40,000 follower range. I'm just a puny peasant with okay, how does that look? Good? Or do you want it lighter? Alright, so what I usually do when I'm drawing underwear is, I mean, lace is usually the most popular option. You can never go wrong with lace. So I have a pretty intricate process, and I just kind of wing it most of the time, but I guess the first thing I'll want to do is find like a reference or something. But I tend to draw my underwear layers with several layers because that allows you to get like transparency in, and like, I don't know, just a lot of different things. You'll see what I mean in a second, but just give me a moment to find something to work off of here. And I did copy paste the violet lace. I might use a pattern here to a certain extent, but I will manually draw some more detail. I don't like just totally copying lace from a pattern, because even though it's effective, it feels kind of cheap. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it, but the drawings tend to look a little more organic when you have your own rendering in there to a certain degree. Alright, so here's what I'll probably do. I'll probably turn down this layer, turn down the opacity a little bit, and that's gonna kind of function as a transparent layer underneath, and then I will add a layer and get the original tone I was looking for. Copy that. In your dreams, sucker. Alright, so the first thing I'll probably do with this underwear layer is get a much darker tone than this transparent one here and start drawing a border. Bras and stuff usually tend to have this kind of like lining to them, so I'll do that first. So in one of the casual mode drawings, there's a picture of Charlotte, and she has a bag that's labeled Azura's Secret. I thought that was kind of funny. This is the moment where I'm just now realizing that I've never drawn the back straps of a bra before. Learn something new every day. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I don't actually think my voice is actually that interesting, but I'll take it. I'm here all day. Also, thank you for tuning in. You know, I've actually thought about like seeing how to get into voice acting before, but I've never followed those impulses. I always thought voice acting could be a really fun gig. Yeah, my voice is like weirdly deep. It's especially weird when I listen to my own voice because it's way deeper than it sounds, even like it's deeper than I hear it as. So I can't imagine what it's like for everyone else. But yeah, got a low voice. Sorry guys, I'm trying to just find a good reference for a bra clasp. And it's taking me longer than I would have hoped. And yeah, it's really weird hearing my voice on recordings. I don't really like my voice when I listen to it, but I'm pretty sure that's just kind of how everyone is. We're also used to hearing our voice differently, that it's just weird hearing it, how it actually hears to other people. Yeah, so this is one of the aspects of drawing with a Surface Pro, is that I'm drawing fully on a touchscreen. So I move the drawing around way too much. I'm sure anyone who uses like Photoshop or an actual normal drawing program probably isn't rotating quite like I am most of the time. To be honest, it's probably something that keeps me slower than a lot of other artists, because I draw so zoomed in. And I hear a lot of artists speed up their process by just breaking that habit of not being so zoomed in all the time. There we go. Look at that little clasp right there. So this has been a learning experience, drawing this clasp right here, and it's highly likely that I'll go back and change it even after I'm done. Alright, so there's some detailing on the bra. I mean, we obviously haven't got very far. Sometimes it takes me forever to do these lace things, but I'm going to try going down to this layer underneath and maybe adding a little bit more shading to that. Oh, sorry guys, I got distracted by the drawing. It is 10:20 for me right now. I'm on Mountain Time in the great exotic land of Colorado. And you probably do hear a fan, and it's probably my computer, because this thing tends to run hot. Oh, and the journalism project. Ooh, that's an interesting thing. So long story short, I met this guy at work who happened to acquire this gaming page on Facebook with 600,000 followers. And he wants to try to monetize it. And he wanted to bring me on board to be a content creator for that page. So I've been working with him on that because there's opportunity there for sure, but it's also a very difficult project because Facebook is total ass, and it's just the worst platform in the world, and I hate it. So that journalism thing, I was seeing if anyone was interested in creating like video content that would be posted as videos on the Facebook page, earning 50%, and they would be earning 50% of the ad income that the videos pull in, but still kind of deciding how I even want to run this whole project, so it's just kind of this big thing in the background. Okay, so this is an example of a bra that I am improvising. Sometimes I have a plan on how I'm gonna draw a bra. Today is not one of those days. Oh, so the project is, it's kind of journalism, but we're going over, it's really more like just making gaming videos, really. Because these videos are targeted for a Facebook audience, and I've learned that Facebook doesn't care about quality, and they only care about dumb shit that you get that makes you feel emotions. So journalism is a generous word to describe Facebook content. It's mainly just stupid stuff that people like to share. So journalism is a generous word to describe. Okay, I'm gonna try pulling up a pattern real quick. If I can remember where I kept those in my program. Man, this is some... Hold on. Alright, so what I just did, I copied a pattern. This is the same one I used for Byleth. I don't know if I'm actually going to use this, but let's just see how it looks. So I probably shouldn't have offered the lingerie as my next option, because I actually tend to usually take a long time doing it. So if you're watching this stream to see a lot of progress happen, it's gonna stall quite a bit as I figure out how I want to do this lingerie. But here's what I like to do. So suppose that you want to use like a lace pattern, kind of like this. You can download like patterns similar to this online and stuff. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna make a couple copies of this layer for later. And now I'm going to take out my eraser and just erase wherever the bra is not. In the past, I have drawn my own lace in a lot of pictures. It's actually rare for me to use a pattern, but because of time and for moving the stream along, I'm going to see how this pattern works out. It is definitely fulfilling when you draw your own lace pattern from scratch. So don't... Oh man, did I accidentally... I blew it. I accidentally erased on the cup, so I have to redo it. If there are any artists watching this taking cues, I would definitely keep patterns like this in mind. But I would also advise you to try to draw your own patterns, because it can be a good learning process. And like this kind of stuff, while useful, I personally don't like to get hung up on it like as a crutch. But yes, it can definitely be very helpful. And yeah, I've drawn the lace on most of my drawings. I used to really only use patterns for fishnets, but with the Byleth, I decided to download a lace one, and here we are. Okay, so then I can do that again. Hold on a second. So I can do this same thing for the garters and the underwear. It's kind of a process, but it's worth it. And yeah, so as far as using patterns, I don't think there's anything wrong with using patterns or not using them. It's just like I said, I think with digital art, it's really easy to have the temptation to take shortcuts wherever you can. And there's kind of a balance that you have to walk, because on one hand, digital shortcuts are very helpful and they can speed up your process. But if you rely on them a ton, it can be easy to get into the habit of not actually drawing the stuff that you want to draw. And then when you start using more and more templates and patterns and brushes and stuff to do specific like textures, falling into that habit can be hard to break out of. So it's like, I'm definitely don't think there's anything wrong with using patterns, but you want to make sure you're not getting lazy because of it, because once you start using a bunch of pre-made stuff, it kind of starts showing your art. Like, I think fur is a good example of what I'm talking about. A lot of people, if they draw an animal, they might find some Photoshop brush that's like, you know, it's like a fur brush, and it's meant to look like fur. So, you know, they rely on this brush to get this furry texture, and then they draw a background, and they need trees, so they get a tree brush, and all the trees in their picture are all like little pre-rendered, pre-drawn things. So professionals use these tools. Professionals use patterns and they use brushes and stuff, but they also know when to draw your own stuff. So like as a beginner artist, I think it's important to attempt to draw fur on an animal, or lace on a bra, or hair instead of using like a hair brush, or, you know, just, you could go on and on with the examples. And I would say right now I'm using a pattern to answer your question. I'm using it right now mostly to save time, and to keep the stream interesting. But also, it's just a good way to show people how I use patterns in case anybody wanted to know. Honestly, I probably wouldn't be using a pattern right now if I had a bra photo like ready to reference, but so like usually when I draw lingerie, I will look up references and stuff and kind of just like pick and choose from various designs and just kind of combine shit together until it becomes like the outfit I'm drawing. So I might have like 3 different bra pictures and kind of borrow design elements from all 3 of them to create lingerie if I'm doing a lingerie drawing. But I didn't come in prepared with reference for the stream, so I think for now it's going to be easier just to use this texture. Alright, so now, the question is, how do I want to use this texture? See, this is where lingerie gets interesting, because if you play with layers and stuff, like, I could just leave it like this, but I'm not really satisfied with this. It kind of looks lazy. I like to add some depth and like shading and stuff, so first I want to erase in the points where the lace just wouldn't be there, such as on these straps, or not the straps, the clasp I mean. So like, let's get rid of some of the lace on the sides, or on the trim right here. So one cool thing that you can do with art programs is you can pull up a layer, And you can set transparency lock, which means everything that you draw only falls within what's on that layer. So if I take white right here, I can draw through this lace, and that's the only thing it touches. So by turning on transparency lock, it allows me to really experiment with how I want to use this lace in this drawing. Like, I could make it white. You know, I could try shading it a bit, which is probably what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to try, first I want to see what it looks like if I make it blue instead of black. So I'm going to take a flat blue color and overlay it over this lace. So it's no longer black. I think it's probably going to look better. So the stream kind of lags behind. What are you guys saying looks nice? Blue, white? Oh, you want the white? Let's go back to the white. So this is really up to you, hero of memes. Like, I can play around with this all day, but since it's your drawing, you can determine what you want this to look like. So, do you have anything that you would like for the lace? And keep in mind, it's not going to all be flat like this. I'm going to add some shading into it, but it just, you know, helps to visualize it. Oops. Yeah, so this is what's fun about digital art, is that you can just kind of like experiment with stuff like this. And also with these garters and stuff, I will definitely have a layer kind of like the bra layer, where I have, you know, like, what am I saying? Like trim. So, hold on a second. Yeah, stuff like this. Hey, it's Art G. What's up, man? Okay, yeah, so with the white, it's not all gonna be flat like this. So this is where it's time to start experimenting. So let's say you do want white. Let's go with that for the time being. I'll show you how the lace can then be adjusted to play with the look. So it's like, I can adjust the opacity of the bottom layer down here to make it more transparent or more clear. I'm going with semi-transparent for now, so let's go back to the lace layer, and now I'm going to play with some shading. So, shading, I'm going to try doing like a blue shade Let's see what I can do with this. Give me just a second. So yeah, as you can see, I can kind of play around with the shading on this, and with lace it's kind of tough because sometimes it just drowns it out. So you have to find the best way to shade this. The blue shading on the white. I'm trying to figure out. I tried it so many times. I'm trying to figure out which moment you liked. Oh, are you okay? The background. Are you talking about this right here? If I turn down the bottom layer more, the stream is lagging behind my voice. Well, it's lagging pretty far behind. Thanks, dude. Yeah, so we've been playing around with the lingerie for a while. I tend to take a lot of time when I draw lingerie like this. It's longer than a lot of other people probably take, but it can end up with a pretty cool result in the end. Okay, so do you want to keep this base blue in the back? Because I can keep it. Okay, don't darken. It's hard to determine exactly what you want when the stream lags behind my voice. First, I'm going to erase this thing right here. I don't need this anymore. Well, this drawing is for you, so I want it to be how you want it. So if you have any strong opinions on anything, I'm definitely okay with going with those. I'm gonna go back to the lace shading. But if you want any adjustments, like to the base layers or anything, just let me know in chat. But I'm trying to see if I can get this to work. Sweet. Okay, I will keep the colors. So yeah, this is why I love digital art, is because it opens up really neat possibilities with all the stuff you can do. Like drawing this lace would be such a pain in the ass if you're doing it conventionally, but it's pretty cool being able to pull up a pattern and then like adjust and shade certain parts of it. So before, just had a really basic looking line art, which didn't look very good, but you know, with just a little bit of adjustment, you can turn it into something pretty cool looking. Are you watching?
Yeah.
Like
like that. This triangle.
Oh, that's a good idea. My wife just came in with an idea, and it's to do this. Maybe a little bit more eloquently than that. My wife just came in with an idea. Wants to do this. And yep, you heard her. That was my wife making a surprise visit. Yep, you heard her. That was my wife. Yeah, so here, let me undo that real quick. So the other option we have, so like we could have the bra up top looking like that, but it's also possible, which I do this sometimes, to like erase the bottom layer to where it's mostly transparent, and then color the lace into the target color instead, which makes like a transparent effect. So if I color dab that and then go back to the lace layer, and this is all just experimentation, I can change it back if you want, so don't worry about me ruining the drawing or anything. Yeah. So, yeah, this. So this allows for the garter to kind of be transparent. So you have the bra up top, which isn't quite transparent, but then you have the garter, which is. Let's try those triangles again. Keep. I think I should color that in. Alright, so let's try coloring, shading that in again. This is where it helps to have a lady's eye.
I don't really love this streak across there. Maybe it's better if you did like a little.
This is where it helps to have a lady's eye. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of just drawn kind of quickly. I was actually gonna take more time to. Honestly, guys, the garter belt is probably gonna have some redesigning off stream, because I kind of blocked in the general shape for it. But usually when I do the underwear, I do a lot of deliberating and changing So probably won't be finishing that tonight, but and we're just experimenting with different looks as far as removing the lace. So like with the bra, again, I could do that. So if you wanted that effect for the bra, usually the cups don't have that. Yeah. But it is really typical to have like a transparent band. So I could, for example, do something like this if you wanted. And then color in that lace again. I don't know.
Make this one. Because it's never just like a round thing.
Okay. If you really want to see what the bra looks like transparent, let's see here. If you really want to see what the bra looks like. That's the kind of effect we get.
She just went away.
Mm-hmm.
She just went away.
I kind of like it the other way.
I think it's too transparent. I think you should do a layer like that. Like a sheer layer like this. Just like
Oh my gosh. It's like a nightmare figuring out the layers for this. Alright. So I'm not really up for anything here. I'm just experimenting with all the different looks that are possible. Okay, so we're gonna do a semi-transparent layer right here, and then we're gonna see how it looks. I know, I have to color over it. Semi-transparent layer right here, and then we're gonna see how it looks. So it would be more like that.
Shade this part in darker so it's opaque. I think that would look good. Just displace it.
Yeah, I've done that before. Okay, let's try it. We're just going nuts tonight being lingerie designers here. So another option. You're talking something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there has to be like a seam.
Right.
It wouldn't just be like a circle like that. Because fabric doesn't just do that.
Right. And yes, I do have a dog. We have a Shiba puppy. She's quite the handful. And cats that don't like her. I might call it tonight. Okay, I am reaching the point where I kind of need to go to bed, and I'm probably going to deliberate a bit more on this underwear design before I finish it. So I'm probably going to call it quits for now, but thank you for tuning in. I'm pretty pleased with the progress so far. The skin looks good. Were you talking about the shine earlier on the skin? Is that what you're referring to? I could add some of that right now. Okay, so you're still on board with the blue and white design? I'm fine with that, just making sure we're on the right page. Okay. Well, I will update you with progress. But I am glad you tuned in, as well as everyone else who was watching. Thanks for supporting my stream and my art and all that jazz. I'll try to draw more, but I've been kept pretty busy by these other projects I'm working on. I'm trying to balance a lot on my plate right now. So hopefully I can get back to this drawing soon and other drawings. I would like to draw something as kind of a like a return for my absence, but we'll see. Any questions or anything before I tune out? Thanks, man. I hope to not die during doing art. So I'm glad my wonderful followers and you and everyone else is patient with me. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Alright, cool. Well, thanks for watching, and for now, I am out. Thanks for tuning in, guys.